The AFC North is home to some of the most dangerous offensive weapons in the entire NFL. In this video, we will be ranking them in the top 5 order. Make sure to like this video if you do enjoy it, and we'll see you in the video. So Ben, I want you to start me off with AFC North's top 5 offensive weapons. Give me your top 2. Tell me what you're thinking around there.
I think top 2 is obvious. It's more of a discussion of where you put number 1 and number 2. But for number 2, I've got Nick Chubb, one of the best running backs in the league. It's obvious why he goes high in fantasy, why everyone looks at him so highly. And even with a very good backup, I still think that he is probably going to have a great season. He always has a great season. But with number 1, I think it's obvious. It's Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
It's 100% Lamar Jackson. Dude could run, dude could throw, and he's got some offensive weapons this year. I think he's going for a bounce-back season, even though I don't think last season he was also terrible. But I think he's going to have a great year this year.
Lamar Jackson, I mean, he's won the league MVP. There's not much to say about the man who can literally run more than a running back can, and also throw the ball decently accurate enough for that team to be successful in winning. When he's playing, the Ravens are winning, and that's what's important when you're talking about best players on the football team. Lamar Jackson is that. Talking about Nick Chubb, this guy is an absolute beast, one of the best running backs in the NFL. I feel like Lamar's impact is a little more win-driven than Nick Chubb's, although they do ride Nick Chubb a lot. They have Kareem Hunt behind him just in case he goes down, so that kind of diminishes the value there a little bit. But let's move on to the 3, 4, 5, because this is where it gets a little spicy. For me, at 3, I've got Baker Mayfield. I want to know what you have at 3.
I like Baker Mayfield, I think, a lot more than some other people. You know, Brandon doesn't fancy him that high. Colin Coward, all those kind of guys. I don't really rate Baker Mayfield. I think he's a pretty good quarterback. I don't have him in my top 5, but I think quarterbacks kind of have to prove it in a sense that they're head and shoulders above everyone else on their offense, and that's why I put Lamar in there. That's why if you look at the other lists that I have, other quarterbacks are there. But at number 3, it was between 2 wide receivers, and I had to pick with Mr. Corvette himself. Corvette. Juju Smith-Schuster. I personally am, besides his whole TikTok thing, I am actually a very big fan of his game. I think he is a very good receiver, and I think especially this year, they've got a run game now with Najee Harris. It looks like Ben Roethlisberger could have maybe a good season. I think he's going to have a bounce-back year. He's on a prove-it deal. He knows kind of where he's situated in the whole kind of fan base of the NFL, what people think of him. To me, I've got Juju Smith-Schuster at 3.
Now you're just flattering me right now because you know I'm a Steelers fan and you're going to earn some points. But no, on a serious note, I don't have Juju even in my top 5. I lost a lot of the kind of respect I had for him as a skill-wise wide receiver. I don't care about the off-the-field antics. That's not important to me. But what I'm focused on is what he brings to the football field, and I haven't seen that in the past few years. Baker Mayfield brings that swagger on Sundays. He brings that winning energy. He revitalized the Browns organization, and he deserves to be in that top 5 for me. But moving on to number 4 on my list is going to be running back for previously stated my Pittsburgh Steelers, Najee Harris. This guy is going to be an absolute monster. He's only number 4 on this list because he hasn't gone out there and proven that he's number 1 on this list. He could easily be the best player in this division. He is going to be a workhorse back. He is going to be that 3-down back that you rely on to get you that first down, get you that goal line touchdown. He is a do-it-all guy, and for that reason, he makes my top 5.
Yeah, I love Najee Harris as a prospect. I mean, who didn't coming out of college? He was probably the most surefire running back in this draft. I mean, there were no questions about him except for maybe he's a little too old, but who cares? Najee Harris is a good pick, but I told you it was between 2 wide receivers. I got number 4. I've got Odell Beckham Jr. Again, another guy poised for a bounce-back year, in my opinion. Yes, it seemed like the Browns are doing just better without him, but you know what Odell can do. We saw it especially in the Cowboys game last year when I think he ran for touchdowns. He was all over the field. He looked incredible. to me, Odell Beckham Jr. is going to be poised again for another return year. He knows how good this Cleveland Browns team is. And again, another reason why I think Baker Mayfield could make this, I just think that Odell has the skill set to take, I think he can take a team to the next level on offense. In a way we don't really see a lot of wide receivers being able to do that. I think he can. And I think that's exactly what he's going to do this season.
No, yeah, I agree with you about Odell. I have him at number 5 on my list. Do you have Najee at 4 on your list, just to at number 5 on your list, just to confirm?
I do.
Okay, so we have 4 and 5.
Love him as a prospect, yeah.
We have 4 and 5 in verse. I want to hear what you have to say about Najee in a minute, but Odell, for me, I have him at number 5. He is one of my favorite wide receivers of all time. We all can remember back in the days, at least for me, when I was in high school, early high school, going outside and grabbing those Odell catches over the head and with one hand. Those were great times, great memories, all funded by this guy and this miraculous catch that brought him to fame and stardom. But Odell isn't just that one catch. He is an elite wide receiver, and he's going to prove that on a bounce back year and potentially even win comeback player of the year this season.
Yeah, he could. I mean, look, there are some other players in that contention, but I mean, there haven't been that many moments, especially in football over the past 5 years, that have had such a cultural impact or a significant impact as Odell Beckham. Because remember, after every game, it seemed like there was just another highlight of him. And sure, a lot of people thought he was riding the wave of that, but he was always productive. It was just the kind of switch to the Cleveland Browns that was a little shaky, but still. But yeah, my number 5 pick's Najee Harris. Love the prospect. I don't think there's anyone in the NFL that doesn't love him as a prospect. There's a reason why he was the first one off the board. There's a reason why everyone looked at him as the most surefire running back I've ever even heard of since, I don't know, Saquon, I would have to say. Even before that, I think he's just proven himself so much in college. And I think he's going to have an instant impact, and he's going to kind of sort of in a way stretch the field and stretch the amount of play that the Steelers can do. Even with a shaky offensive line, I still think he's going to shine this season.
High impact players that can definitely feature different players each year. Let's not forget Joe Burrow's still in this division as well. He still hasn't proved it yet, but he could be a definite guy that jumps into this top 5 list. Thank you guys so much for tuning into another video of the Banter Broadcast. You already know what it is. Make sure to leave a like on this video, consider subscribing, and we will see you next time on the Banter Broadcast.